Nothing in pop culture safe. Wizard casting truth bombs. Mob bringing the fire. When the heart takes head, you're in the culture crossfire. Wizard spells, monsters roar, breaking down the culture war. When the fandom flames rise higher, you're caught up in the crossfire. Crossfire climber, caught up in the fandom flame. Crossfire climber, nothing in pop culture safe. The wizard casting truth bombs, mob bringing the fire. When the heart takes hit, you're in the culture crossfire. You're caught up in the crossfire.
Oh, what is going on? M4 Empire Real Life Fake Wizard channel. This is Culture Crossfire, and you are in the crossfire today, folks. Welcome to our weekly Thursday stream. I'm Marvin, the movie monster Montanaro. He's the real life fake wizard, and we are ready to break down the culture war for you guys today. Wizard, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, Marv. We have a lot of stuff we're going to get into. There's been some really good updates, some interesting updates, and of course, there's been some bad ones, and we're going to get into those pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely, guys. We have so much to talk about today. We have got a company that is literally mooning Nintendo and attempting to get them to sue them. Like, there's got to be some kind of trap that they're setting. Like, Nintendo's going to be like, I cast lawsuit. And then Pikmon's going to be like, you've activated my trap card.
I hope so. Something's got to happen. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah. But guys, as always, this show is made for you and financed by you. We count on your generous super chats on both these channels. This is simulcast on the M4 Empire, my channel, and the Real Life Fake Wizard channel. So we counting your generous super chats and gifted memberships keep the lights on around here. I see we have a few that have come in already. Snarky to Sing for gifted 5 M4 Empire memberships. Thank you, Snark. Good to see you out there, buddy. And then he commented, we are the M4 Empire. Good morning, Marv, Wiz, and chat. Good morning, Snark, and power to the Empire. Butter Biscuit for $2 says, great way to start the day. Let's go. And Flying Blind and a Rocket Cycle sent in a 199 super sticker, power to the 199. Yeah, so we that's everything we got so far. We do break for $50 or more. So if you guys send in $50 or more to either channel, we do stop and talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about. So, Wizard, it's going to be a huge week coming up also because MegaCon is next weekend. I will be there. I don't believe you said you probably weren't going, right?
No, I won't be able to make it this time around.
Yeah. So Lauren, Connor, and I will have booth space at MegaCon on Friday. We'll be in the community zone at booth 1018 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you guys want to come over and meet Lauren and I, we're not selling anything. We're just kind of hanging out. And if people want to come hang out with us, that's perfectly cool. So
are you guys doing a panel?
No. We're not doing a panel. G&G's doing one on Saturday though. It was like way too last minute putting everything together. So we're going to have to, I see you just got some gifted memberships on your channel there, Wiz.
Snarky to Stink gifted 5 real life fake wizard memberships. Thank you, Snarky.
He's an equal opportunity snarker. I love it.
We love it here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So where do we want to start this week? We got so much to cover. Do you want to, you know what? Let's retread some stuff that we talked about last week because we got to talk about Green Lantern and kind of make a comparison to something else that's kind of going on right now. So let's take a look, guys, because from geeksandgamers.com, Lantern's writer Damon Lindelof calls Green Lantern lore stupid. Now, you remember last week we talked a bit about the fact that this Lanterns trailer was so god awful. I mean, we did, we talked ad nauseum about it. Like we talked about all the things that were wrong with this trailer, how there was no green in it whatsoever, how there were no green lanterns, how there was nothing otherworldly about it, how it was just two guys walking through the desert with one, younger guy berating the old white guy for the entire time. And we know exactly what this show's going to be. Well, J.J. Abrams' disciple Damon Lindelof then decided to shoot his mouth off on a podcast. And yes, guys, in all likelihood, he was probably joking. But let's take a look at what he said. Oh, may help if I.
So you just announced a Green Lantern show.
It's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the green was stupid. So
Right.
So now it's just lanterns.
So
Did you notice how nobody laughed when he said that?
But what's bad about this is you could take it in two different ways. You could take it on the face value of we think Green Lantern is stupid, so we took the green out of it. But also, there's also the other implication that he's making fun of the audience that wanted it Green Lantern. Either way is really bad. It's a really bad look to be talking about this in this way.
Oh, absolutely. I get it. Even if you're joking, like, oh, it's a comedy podcast. He was telling a joke. One, nobody laughed. And two, do not joke about this. After what Rachel Zegler did to Snow White with her weird jokes and all that stuff, you guys are not funny. Don't joke.
Yeah. Don't joke at the expense of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You could, if you want to make jokes about characters, I feel like that's okay. But this is a very sensitive pain point that it sounds like you think you're better than the source material, which you're not, because you're Damon Lindelof, and we know you're not.
Right. You wrote, the Kelvin Star Trek, movies, and what else did he write? He did the Star Trek films, and went Into Darkness, I think he wrote.
Yeah. Right.
And there was something else that he wrote that I hated too, and I don't remember what it is on top of my head.
There's a bunch of things that he's been a part of that I
the
can't stand.
The Watchmen series on HBO. He was responsible for that nonsense.
Yes. Yeah. The sequel. Where Dr. Manhattan comes back and falls in love.
Just once again, like J.J. Abrams' disciples making me have to defend Zack Snyder. Because I honestly love Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie. I love it. I think he did a phenomenal job. I understood getting rid of the squid. I know that was the big thing that kind of stuck with everybody, was that he got rid of the squid. But I was like, man, the squid was lame. That was a lame part of the story. So it makes more sense for it to be Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, I like the I like the director's cut. Of course, everybody said the director's cut was better, and that's Zack Snyder's thing, is that his director's cuts are always better, right? But if Damon Lindelof here, let's look at what he's written, right? Okay, the Lost. He's written a lot of Lost, which that didn't end well. He wrote Cowboys and Aliens. Some people liked. A lot of people had some problems.
Can I tell you something about Cowboys and Aliens, man? That trailer was in front of every movie for like a year and a half.
Yes, that was a big deal.
And that was like, because that was back when I was going to the movies like every single week. And I just remember, I said, like, I dreaded that Cowboys versus Aliens trailer every week as much as I dread the Nicole Kidman "You're at the Movies" video that plays in front of every AMC movie.
Yep. Yeah. Cowboys and Aliens, which bombed spectacularly, did not do very well, famously. He also wrote Prometheus, which was the Alien prequel film that Ridley Scott directed.
Yeah.
He, like, as a longtime Alien fan, and this big prequel, Prometheus, what a terrible Act 2 and Act 3.
Awful. Absolutely
awful.
Terrible.
You could go World War Z, Star Trek Into Darkness. He did Disney's Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland. That was which was wow.
How do these guys keep getting work? And honestly, the answer to that question always boils back to the same thing: J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. It's who you know. It's who he knows. It's who you know.
J.J. Abrams has unleashed this army of putrid hacks upon the Hollywood landscape. I mean, you've got this guy, you've got Alex Kurtzman over at Paramount ruining Star Trek. You've got not Benioff and Weiss, the two guys that are destroying Tolkien with Rings of Power. They're JJ disciples. And so they show up, and usually, like, a lot of times without many big credits, we'll get these big things. Like the idiots that are running the Rings of Power, they've never done anything major before by themselves. And then they were handed the most expensive television show of all time. I assume just because J.J. Abrams is, who he is in Hollywood, and everyone worships at the altar of him because he made one good TV show that ended terribly, 20 years ago. And his wife is like the owner of the Me Too movement. So.
Yep. Yeah. J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. And what's really, I think, sad about this is, these people with no credits to their names go in and they get these massive franchises, and then they butcher them. And then time passes, or they do interviews in between seasons, and it ends up that these dummies end up revealing to the public that they had no idea what they were doing, and they just did the best sales pitch. That's what we got with Benioff and Wise, with Dumb and Dumber, and that's what we got with J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, that these people are coming into these properties having no respect for them, or, and it's not even the kind of thing where you need to know everything. You need to be a lore master in order to do this job. I don't think that's the case. You could come in, have no idea who Green Lantern is, and still put on a really good Green Lantern show.
Absolutely.
If you do the research and learn about what it is that you're doing, you could figure it all out. It's not that hard.
What they wanted was they wanted a True Detective show. They didn't want a Green Lantern show. They were like, okay, well, which property for DC can we turn into True Detective? Just like he took Peacemaker season 2 and was like, which property can I turn into The Boys? It was, which property can I turn into True Detective? And they got the True Detective guy, who clearly doesn't, respect anything having to do with the source material. You got this guy, because if you actually respected, if you actually had a deep love of it, you wouldn't even make this joke. You wouldn't even be like, oh, the green is stupid or something like that. Or you'd follow it up with a clarifying statement like, no, the reason it's called Lanterns is, I think Ethan Van Sciver said that the reason it's called Lanterns is because there will be multiple Lantern Corps in it. I will believe that when I see it.
Nope. You're going to see, they're going to suit up in episode 7. We'll see them suit up maybe for a moment in episode 1, or it'll be like a flashback. And then we're not going to see them in suits.
Actually see it.
Right. It'll end with them in the suits, like finally after 8 weeks of slogging through the show. And then the Access media is going to run with it like, oh my gosh, that was incredible. I can't wait to see what happens next. But what happens next is in 5 years. And it's still, and then they're going to be out of suits again and have to go through the same character development arc. It's so bad. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. We know what's going to happen.
Yep. Yeah. Look, this sums it up perfectly. Like, fans, why not just adapt this Green Lantern story in Hollywood? Nah, this is silly. We'll riff on this instead. We don't want that. We want this. Like, chud.
Yeah.
It's people love these stories for a reason. And like I said, you've got Green Lantern Rebirth, which is it starts off the single greatest, like long form story, not even comic book story that I've read in the last like 30 years. I mean, starts at Green Lantern Rebirth and goes all the way through Blackest Night. And it is a phenomenal story that deepens this lore. Because Jeff Johns, that was like his thing. He used to be like, I'm going to take this character that is just like wallowing in obscurity right now, and I'm going to give him a tremendous comic book story that's going to completely revitalize the character. He did it with Green Lantern. He did it with the Legion. He did it with Flash.
And DC, unlike Marvel, I think DC is still a massively untapped well of stories.
Oh yeah,
right. No one's doing it right. It's all their own interpretations or their own spins, taking characters out, but not taking, like, writing original stories with characters. It's basically superhero, like DC Comics films are superhero Mad Libs. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not honoring any of the source material here. Like right now, okay, look, yeah, True Detective Green Lanterns. You didn't want to adapt any of the other. You could have done, as we've said before, you could have done True Detectives Green Lanterns in space.
Yeah.
And you could have adapted as one of the many Green Lantern stories. There's plenty of them to choose from.
the wild thing is that Green Lantern is probably the one property in all of DC that would benefit from getting the Guardians of the Galaxy treatment. The
Right.
romp through space, the snark, the colorful sets, all the James Gunn staples that he's pigeonholing into everything else except for Green Lantern.
Yeah, except for the one where it would have worked and could have worked. Like but also Green Lantern, unless you're a comic book fan or you've watched the shows, you don't know the origin here. You don't really know, like the normie folks, high school kids, especially, nobody's buying comics anymore. Comic books are burning out, unless you're in the indie space. But high school kids now, kids at all, don't know who Green Lantern is, and they don't care. Where they see Green Lantern when they go to Six Flags. That's about it. That's about it.
At the end of the day, if you actually do Green Lantern right, it could be the next Iron Man, because people didn't really know who Iron Man was before Robert Downey Jr.'s movie came out. Iron Man and Thor and all them, they were like D-list Marvel characters essentially. Like comic book fans loved them and held them in high regard, but the general public didn't know anything. Before Iron Man, if you walked up to anyone on the street and you said name 3 superheroes, the majority of them would say Batman, Superman, Spider-Man.
Yep.
And now that's changed because of the MCU. If you actually did a Green Lantern movie right with the spectacle of like whatever you imagine can become reality, dude, it would be the biggest thing in the world.
So, because it would, well, that's exactly what it would be. But we look at something like this where they're saying, "Oh, Green was stupid. We thought Green was stupid."
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for this show now? And what else? That's like, now I'm coming at this from an angle of what else are they going to think is stupid in Green Lantern lore that is now going to be rewritten and permanent in the DCU?
It's like being like, well, I'm going to write The Flash, but we all agree that part where he runs really fast is stupid.
Exactly.
Or it's Kevin Smith going into that producer's office and being told for a Superman movie, I don't want to see him fly. I don't want to see him in the suit. He's got to fight a giant spider in the 3rd act.
Yeah. And it's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. But so, I mean, these guys have just it appears just a hatred of the source material. We saw it with things like The Witcher also. We saw it with things like Velma, and it never goes well. But now One Piece over at Netflix is doing Wizard the exact opposite.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that? So I will say,
yeah,
I am currently watching it. I was rewatching the first season because I wanted to refresh myself on all of the characters and whatnot. Because I never really watched the anime. It's always just kind of been too intimidating.
It's too much.
Like 1,000 episodes.
I tried. The pacing for me is just I can't get there. My time is so limited that I don't have 1,000 episodes.
Filler.
Yeah. Even though I know it's beloved and respected, and I respect it, I just don't have the time to commit. But okay. So One Piece season 2 just dropped on, I think, a couple days ago. So that would have been the March 10th, right? The full season dropped of season 2. 3 years it's been since the last season.
Mm-hmm.
And this show does its absolute best to honor the source material with the limited time constraint that they have. And I think it works. And I really enjoyed it. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. Like there's going to be problems with it. But by comparing this to other shows, I mean, the biggest one that I think, and I've seen the whole season, but you compare this back to Stranger Things, Marv, and I think I want you to think through this. Compare even the first episode, which by far the first episode of season 2 is the weakest, which is sad because I know how impactful that's supposed to be in the overall grand scheme, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just happens to be the weakest of a great bunch you're about to watch, right? Watch this episode and you're going to think, oh my gosh, Stranger Things 5 is embarrassing with how much money they spent. This show, and this season in particular, makes you want to go there. It makes me think like, man, in Islands of Adventure, where they're getting rid of all of the Greek territory there, and the Mediterranean territory, they should be putting in One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be putting in the Grand Line. They should be putting in something One Piece, because this show is so detail specific and so exciting. Then the war, like, they have tons of background actors moving through the sets. It's all real sets. It's all practical. They use as much as they can. Like, yeah, there's a lot of CGI for all the superpowers, but like,
Yeah.
they do a lot of practical stuff too, and it works. And you want to live there, or you want to go there.
Well, I mean, you look at the design choices that they make in One Piece, even in season 1. I could have totally seen, if this were 15 years ago, somebody in Hollywood being like, well, he can't have green hair, or, you know, like, we can't have people who are also animals. Like, we can't actually have fishmen. So we'll just make Arlong, you know, have a scarred face or something like that, and just say he's like a fish. No, like, they go there with this, man. Like, it is an anime brought to life. And part of the reason for that is the actual creator of the anime is highly involved with this.
Yes.
Here's a little something that is a nice touch with One Piece. If you were to watch the Japanese dub of the live action One Piece, the voices that are dubbing it over is the anime cast.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really great.
That's really cool.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, like, I've thought about watching it like that before, but I really hate like dubs where the lips don't match the words, so I have not done that yet. But I mean, I love the dude who plays Luffy. At first I thought I might have been annoyed by him in the first episode, but I was like, oh man, no, he's just wholesome and great. I mean, like, yes. Nami never crosses into obnoxious territory. Like, in the beginning, I was like, wow, this girl's like really standoffish. But then, like, as season 1 unfolds, you find out why. And in that moment, in the it was either the last episode or the penultimate episode, where she looks at him, like, after all season of her telling this guy to get away from me, you know, when she looks at Luffy and says, help me, I was like I have chills just talking about it. Like, it was so good. And just like, Zoro, like, when Zoro in season 1 fights Mihawk, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is literally an anime come to life.
Yes.
When Mihawk has like the little tiny blade, and he's just like, I don't hunt rabbits with a cannon. And then he just stops Zoro's blades and gives the tiniest little flick of his wrist. And Zoro just goes flying backwards, and it's like dragging his swords. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is literally an anime fight. It's amazing. And then, like, Mihawk, like, when Zoro loses and he like turns to face Mihawk and just like allows him to like essentially kill him. And Mihawk just goes, magnificent. I'm just like, oh, this is so good. Like, it's so good.
Also, that guy eats every scene he's in. Like, the guy playing Mihawk is just crushing it, dude.
He's excellent, man. Like, just unbelievably cool. But yeah, like, in this one, I know they bring in Chopper. Which, you know, that's a fully CGI'd character. So, you know, again, that's another thing that I think people might have like been averse to 15 years ago in Hollywood. And now we're at a point where, you know, we can do these things. I mean, I even liked, and I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I actually thought it was pretty cool. I like the Yu Yu Hakusho live action that Netflix did, because the fights in that were totally, you know, anime style fights. I'm not as familiar with Yu Yu Hakusho to be able to be like, okay, like, I need to you know, analyze everything. Like, if they ever did a Dragon Ball live action, I would be all over, like, which, by the way, I'm shocked that hasn't happened. I can only imagine that they are like really wary about trusting an American studio to do that again.
I think after Dragon Ball Evolution, they're extremely wary to do anything like that.
Could you imagine if they did like a One Piece style, like Dragon Ball or My Hero Academia?
I think My Hero Academia has a better chance of getting some kind of adaptation, especially after, I mean, One Piece here has the chance, assuming people enjoy season 2 and watch season 2 in the numbers that they watch season 1. I mean, it's still early out yet. It's Thursday, right? So we're in the middle of the week, you know, but this weekend, if One Piece season 2 sees the numbers, it should. Like, One Piece is going to be, it's going to continue to be massive for Netflix. Yeah. And Netflix is moving into the territory of wanting to do things more like this. The problem is you got to do what they're doing here. You got to have the original people involved to the extent that Oda's involved in this show, who can veto things and approve changes. Because the changes here, you know, if you're an anime diehard fan, I can understand you watching this show and being like, it was better in the previous version. But that's the same argument as the book was better than the movie. That's the same thing here. This is and comparing this back to the Green Lantern thing, One Piece, the live action, is a faithful adaptation that honors the source material to the best of its ability.
Mhm.
It's trying really hard, and I hope people can see that. Even as kind of a layperson, that I'm not in on all of the anime, though I know about quite a bit of it. This show is really trying hard, and it nails it. You're episodes 3, 4, and 5 here. Lock in. Just lock in. You're gonna have a blast. Yeah.
I'm excited because I am all systems go on this show. I think it's tremendous, and I can't wait to see what they do with the second season.
Yes.
Now, and I know there were some issues around like race swaps and things like that. I have to actually, I've never seen the anime. I haven't seen the anime, so that doesn't really hit me as hard. But like, I've seen enough to know that how faithful they're being. And like, I've gone back after season 1, and I was like, well, let me watch what Mihawk versus Zoro looked like in the anime. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the same thing.
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, I went back and I rewatched a whole bunch of like different scenes, and I'm like, this is like almost shot for shot in some cases. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm all for this. I think it's great, and they are the anti DC right now. They are embracing the source material while people like Damon Lindelof are mocking the source material. So I am all in on supporting that. All right, Wizard. But with that out of the way, maybe it's time to get back to the chat, huh? To the chat
Transition.
We got one from your camp over here.
Yes, Archimedes with a 20 banger for the beard and cancel Disney Plus. Have a good day. You too, my friend. Thank you for here, and thank you for that.
You got another one from you over here.
Gore Weaver for a 20 banger. This is a horrible movie to try and restart the franchise. The Ryan Reynolds movie looks better, at least a more engaging Green Lantern. Yeah, I can't believe the 2011 Green Lantern movie is vindicated.
I seriously, like, people are actually like being like, do we owe the Ryan Reynolds movie an apology now? Like,
every time we think it can't get worse, it keeps getting worse.
It can get worse. They could do, because I made this point last week. Lanterns is the stark polar opposite of the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. It is the exact opposite. So that is
well, you know what I think of when it's like, I don't even think of the Green Lantern movies. I think of the trailer for the Green Lantern movie because I was so excited for that film.
Me too.
I don't really even think of the movie, but I think of how the Deadpool jokes about Green Lantern will now age poorly.
Yeah,
because we're going to look back on Green Lantern fondly now.
Take that,
that's
Marvel.
Wild. That's nuts.
I wish that they would just cast Mark Strong as Sinestro in DC though, because I'm like, just please give this guy another shot. He was such a good
he was
Sinestro.
great, and he would be a great Sinestro.
Yep. And Texas 8412 says Culture Raid. Welcome everyone coming over from Culture Casino, and thank you to Culture Casino for that redirect. We very much appreciate it. All right, so let's get back to the action here. Pokemon is sweeping the nation yet again. It seems, Wizard, that every couple of years we go through Pokemania all over again.
Yeah, this is a big one, and a lot of people didn't expect it, but it deserves it, I think.
Honestly, anyone that didn't expect this was not paying attention, I think. Because I could tell you right when somebody was like, we're gonna take Animal Crossing, but do it with Pokemon, I was like, that is a multi-billion-dollar idea.
I don't know why. I did think this was gonna be like some people will get it, some people won't. I put it in the same camp as Mystery Dungeon because if we look back in 2020. When Animal Crossing came out, we had about a week beforehand, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon got remade, and that didn't do that great. I mean, it did well enough, but it didn't break any records for sure. I thought this was just going to be another spin-off title. No, this is a console seller.
Yeah, this is a console seller. So I have not played this myself because I'm a heterosexual male. But the my wife is playing it, and I have watched my wife play it, and I, for the life of me, don't get these games, but I understand that they're not for me. So like for the people that get these games and love these kinds of games, I'm like, yeah, this is a winner for them. It totally is. Like I'm just watching her go around and like watering the grass and all that stuff, and I'm just like, man, this to me this looks super boring, but to somebody like my wife or like Trish or Krista Nova or Steph from My Nerdy Home or Sevi over at Geeks and Gamers, man, they love this stuff. And
Dude,
adding,
I played this to credits. I've already played
the entire thing.
I played the entire
I
thing.
didn't know you were gay, Wizard. But no, the like I have said that I will, like, if we get like a super chat goal on M4cast or something like that, if people want to see me play this on M4 Empire Gaming, I will play it, but I will not play it for like my personal
you're not gonna have a bad time. This isn't like, ooh, cooties. This game is, I saw the hype around it and I saw that it was selling out. So I was monitoring the situation like a Reddit moderator, right? And seeing how this was selling out everywhere. And like I said, I was very surprised. Like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? Is this because the game is truly that good and people are like tearing it off the shelves? Or is Nintendo doing an artificial scarcity, gold rushing this game,
right,
to do a couple things? Firstly, to get people to go out and get it. But secondly, this is a game key card exclusive at a time when Nintendo had previously said that they weren't going to have like mainline Nintendo games key carded. So is this, I mean, it's Pokemon, right? That's one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. Is this not considered in that basket? And so I really wanted to look into this. Turns out, and then after that, I was like, I have to play it. So I spent some time with a friend here who has a Switch 2, and we were kind of passing the controller off, going through. We finished the whole thing. Went
that's a lot. How did you manage to do that? Because like this, like there's things where it's like, come back tomorrow.
Oh, like, there's a strategy called time travel where you just change the date on your Switch.
Oh, okay,
and it pushes it forward.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah. We were rushing through it to just to get to the credits so that I could, well, firstly, so that I would leave his house, but secondly, so that I would be able to do the video and cover it and fully on like this game has one of the best Pokemon stories in years, like genuine years. It's good.
Yeah, I like the story. I thought it was really like, because obviously you want to be a human character, but by making it a Ditto that turns into a human, that now you can talk to the Pokemon and understand what they're saying. I'm like, that's brilliant.
It's so fitting.
Like, that's a game changer.
And not only that, every single Pokemon has a personality. Every single one of them is an individual. So for the first time since, like, I don't know, the anime, we're getting a Pokemon game where you're interacting with different characters, and they're all unique, and they all have different accents, and they all have different motivations. It's great. And and some of them are heartbreaking. Some of them are really funny. Like one of them will pop out and be like, no, these I'm not actually crying. I just, like, water pours out of my eyes sometimes. And it's like, you're crying because you're left alone. But it's like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it is. So my wife just got the Pokemon Center yesterday, and she's going through kind of slowly, but because she doesn't play like for hours upon hours at a time. But I watched her building the stuff and rearranging things, and I'm just like, for people that like these cozy games, man, this is a home run, because Animal Crossing took the world by storm because it came out right as nobody was allowed to leave their house, and it gave them something mindless to do during that time. And I think Animal Crossing. So now you've got people that are hooked on the concept of Animal Crossing. They like Animal Crossing a lot. Every time Animal Crossing puts out something new, like a new expansion or something like that, people flock to it. And then you have what is now, I've never seen the statistic here, but I've been told by many people that Pokemon is like the #1 IP on the planet, like the most profitable IP on the planet.
Yeah,
and
Pikachu is the most recognizable character in the world.
Yeah, I 100% believe it. So you combine a concept that everyone is already obsessive about with an IP that everyone is obsessed with and has been since the 90s, because Pokemon has been pretty consistently like in the public eye. I mean, we had the big boom in the late 90s, and then it kind of like evened out after that. But then we got to the point where like Pokemon Go came out and it roared back to life.
Yeah. 2016 was a fun time, but we had the Pokemon Go to the polls.
Man, like the death of anything cool is when an old politician says it. And that's like on both sides. Like, I don't want to hear Trump talk about Pokemon either. Like,
I think we have a new one though, because the politicians they're all like, they're kind of disconnected now versus back then. But now the new thing is, if it's on a late night television show, it's no longer cool or fun.
Oh yeah. The second
as soon as it hits Fallon.
Yeah, as soon as it hits, well, Fallon makes everything not funny. But the second that a meme hits like the evening news, that's when I'm like, okay, this meme is done.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as it's on the news or on Fallon, it's over. Find a new thing.
So Pokopia has sold 2.2 million copies in 4 days.
Right. So
that's wild.
But like, we can put that, let me pull up the numbers here. Let's put that into perspective, right? Because like, what does that mean? Because a lot of people I'm seeing online are saying, well, 2.2 million is not that many copies. Okay. As of December 31st, so New Year's Eve of last year, Nintendo had sold 17 million Switch 2s, which means that the funnel at the top was only 17 million possible buyers that would buy this game because it's a Switch 2 exclusive.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that number has gone up, but is it at 18 million or is it at 19 million? We don't know. So we have to take 17 at face value. Let's compare this game to Super Mario Odyssey, which now I'm seeing here sold 2 million copies within 3 days of release.
Okay.
So Pokopia, like Super Mario Odyssey, is a system seller.
Yeah.
People are buying consoles to play this game, and that's only getting worse. Not worse like it's a bad thing. That's only getting crazier now because of how much hype there is around this, because of how many people are talking about it and praising this game. You can't get physical copies. It's like they're pushing all the way out to April. You're not going to be able to get these cartridges because now they physically have to produce them. But consoles are moving off the shelves.
Let me ask you this question about the physical copies. Do you think this is Nintendo trying to create scarcity to drive up market? Or do you think this is just they want you to buy it digitally so they're not making as many cartridges?
I think it's 3 things. 2 of them that you just named. Yes, it's
okay. What's the third?
But it's absolutely artificial scarcity. But the third thing is to put their partners' minds at ease that game key cards will work and will sell for Nintendo Switch 2. Because when the Switch 2 dropped, and from that time all the way to basically December, we were getting news that the game key carded games were not selling. People were not buying them unless you're like a super diehard Nintendo fan that needs every copy of every game ever.
Right.
Like normal folks just weren't buying key cards. The true reason for that is because all of those games are available in other places and people already had them. But then now we get something like, and I think you've played it on the Switch, but you get the Final Fantasy games. Those were key carded and those sold out. You could not get those at first. Right now, I don't know if they're available.
I actually really enjoy it. So I played FF7 Remake on M4 Empire Gaming, and I really enjoyed going through it. It felt no different than on the PlayStation. So and Rebirth comes out in in like 2 months in May. So I have a feeling that when the FF7 Remake Part 3 comes out, it's going to come out on Switch.
Oh yeah. It'll be a day 1 release for the Switch 2.
And I think that's honestly where I'll buy it. Because the Switch 2, I know how you feel about Nintendo, but like the Switch 2 has kind of become my main console now. Now that it's playing like, PlayStation level games and I can take it handheld and take it places, like I'm just kind of like, man, I kind of want these games on this. Like if there's a game on both PS5 and Switch, I am more likely now to buy it on Switch. When it was just the Switch One, I would never have done that because the Switch One had all of those, performance issues. Like I remember somebody was like, "Oh, don't you want Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch so you could take it wherever you want?" I'm like, no, I don't want Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch One because it'll run like crap. But the Switch 2 with more power, Hogwarts Legacy runs beautiful on that.
I haven't seen that, but that's promising. You think of I think of other games that are not Nintendo that run on the Switch One, and I immediately think of that Mortal Kombat game that looks awful.
Oh, so bad.
Awful. That is so embarrassingly bad.
On the Switch One, I had no interest in any game that was not a first-party Nintendo game.
Same. Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah.
But with the Switch 2,
I wasn't buying it.
I don't know. I feel like you can expand. I feel like it's very doable to actually enjoy next-gen games on the Switch 2 and not have it be a disaster. So,
we look at the numbers here and it's like, okay, so people are buying it and game key cards have now been validated to Nintendo. Don't be surprised when we're going to get Legend of Zelda, which is game key carded, or any other games that are game key carded that you wouldn't expect, because this just proves nobody cares about the game key cards as much as physical media nerds like myself do. But further than that, I think this is a 30th anniversary year for Pokemon. And after I watched we streamed the direct that they had on Pokemon Day.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of that, we were like, my brother and I were very upset because this didn't feel like you didn't really honor the 30th anniversary like you did the 25th or even the 20th. Like those were big deals with some really powerful announcements. And sure, people will say, oh, well, they announced Winds and Waves, but I'm not blown away with that trailer. I think it looks like a marginal update from the Scarlet and Violet games personally. And now, as time's passed, and I've played this game is a 30th anniversary game. There are so many references and setup. It references the anime show, like Ash Ketchum, not by name, but they reference episodes from that. They reference a ton of lore from the original Kanto games. Like this is a sequel to like Red, Blue, Yellow.
Yeah. And
it does it well.
Yeah, it's and they mentioned Misty for a bit, like when they talk about the Cerulean Gym, which harkens back to both those original games and the anime. So it's very interesting. We were talking before about the One Piece live action. I'm wondering like if Netflix somehow got the ability to make a Pokemon live action despite all the CG that it would need. I think that would be the biggest show in the world.
It would be the biggest show maybe ever, because of how big Pokemon is. But again, you have to you would have to treat it with the same reverence that they have for One Piece on Netflix.
Yeah. And if it wasn't done well,
rare.
it would be a major disaster.
Right.
If they gave it the Avatar: The Last Airbender treatment.
Oh, it makes me sad.
Really
Those photos are coming out.
And when they've destroyed Toph as a character, they've destroyed Katara as a character because they're trying to give them the modern girl boss treatment instead of just letting them be the characters that they're supposed to be, which are already amazing female characters. That's a conversation for another day. But so what we're seeing, with how well this is selling, we're seeing some companies be super predatory about it, aka Amazon. Because Amazon raised the retail price of this physical copies of this game to $80 amid the scarcity, and it worked. That's the worst part about it, was that it worked.
Yes, it did.
They sold out with $80
because it's a gold rush. It's a gold rush, and people are thinking this game is going to be hard to get, which it is. Because if you were watching, just as you and I were, Marv, at that $80 price point, the delivery time was going to be anywhere between March 23rd and March 30th.
Yeah.
So you're still waiting a few weeks before this thing ships out because they don't have the supply. They have to wait to get it in. So they raised the price to $80. People paid $80. We don't know now if they got like refunds or anything because the price came back down since then. But like, what's going on here? Now, I know some people, and I'm sure you have probably more information on this than I do, that this was an Amazon marketplace mistake. That's what everybody's kind of saying. But part of me, and maybe it's conspiratorial, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo did this too, because it's Nintendo's store. They have control of the prices on their store. And
it definitely seems like a Nintendo thing to do.
Absolutely, it's a Nintendo thing to do. And again, you're like, Pokopia is Nintendo. Nintendo is constantly studying the market, constantly, every minute of every day. They are listening, they are paying attention, because they're trying to figure out a method to get 1 inch further ahead. That's what they're trying. It's literally inches forward every single day of gaining more and more of the market share control. And so I wouldn't be surprised. It was like, hey, snap it to $80 and then take it down. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. But if it really is,
and then it did.
Right. But if it is what everybody's saying, it's this marketplace thing, then all right, well, that's on Amazon.
Right. So what's interesting with this game is, so Pokemon is so big right now, it stands to reason that people try to get in on the Pokemon craze, and Nintendo is fiercely protective of Pokemon. So we have seen, them just go after Pal World legally, and with Pal World, I was like, man, I don't really think like yes, it's kind of similar, but like at the end of the day, like I don't really like think it's like close enough to bring legal action against somebody. However, lately we've seen some. I mean, we'll get into that in one second, but also like there was a card shop that called like Poke Cards or Poke, like it was they called it Poke something, and this
Right.
card shop got robbed, like for like $10,000 worth of merch, and so it was in the news that this card shop got robbed and they lost all this merchandise, and then like when Nintendo saw the news broadcast about it, they sent a cease and desist to them about their name.
Because of course they did.
Yeah, because it is the most litigious company on the planet, which makes this so strange to me, Wizard. Pickmon sparks debate over similarities to Pokemon and Zelda. I mean, look at that. That is
this one is bad.
Up rip.
This is bad. Do we have time to pull up the trailer too? Okay, good. Because all right, this is insane. It is truly 1-to-1, but it's not even just Nintendo games. There's a bit in there where it's like, hey, that's Roadhog from Overwatch. Like you're just straight up stealing everything. So I don't know. Look, right there. That's it.
Right there.
Giratina.
Yeah, and you've got a Link. You basically got Link with Pikachu on the paraglider.
With the Rayquaza / Giratina flying right over.
Exactly.
And it looks like Pal World though. Like you could see the tower up in the top there. That looks like the Pal World tower. So you're stealing Pal World
and stuff like Pal World too.
Yeah.
And of course, the name Pickmon is very much like Pikmin. So here you go. See,
art theft of the video game.
Yeah. So here we go. Not Link running through not Hyrule with not Pikachu.
This is
these
look like pals.
They look like pals, but they also really look like Pokemon. But yes.
Yeah.
I can't get over that Pikachu thing though. More of the gliding,
which is Pal World gliding.
Yeah.
Before it was taken out, or it was before it was changed.
I mean, like it's incredible with this main character though that they put him in like the blue shirt with like that's
yes.
Link. That's 100% Link from Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
It's oh my gosh, it's insane how they got away with that. I mean, we don't know if they got away with it yet. And look, there is not Pikachu. I mean, come on. It's even got the red on the cheeks.
That is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Pikachu, where he's like slightly deformed.
Yeah. This is like we've got Pikachu at home.
Yes, yeah. So this game really is just a Pal World ripoff, like full Pal World ripoff.
Well, but look, Wizard, because Pal World, the problem with Pal World was that it was monster capture with spheres, with orbs. This uses cards.
Because Pokemon cards. Oh.
I would like to point out though that the cards have a Pokeball on them.
No.
Look at the card.
No way. I hadn't seen that.
The cards literally have a Pokeball on them.
Oh man. Lawsuit the video game.
Yup. I mean, look at this.
But like,
I mean,
they're
they're rage baiting them.
It is rage baiting, but I also want to point out the design. That is the mammoth from Pal World. Like,
Yeah, and look,
is
and look at the minigun. I mean, like when pulling out the minigun, like that's Pal World. Yeah, that's the mammoth. You're right.
And that looks like there's a horse dude that looks like that too.
Yep.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's the bike from Scarlet and Violet.
Oh
no. Yeah, there's Roadhog from Overwatch.
Roadhog.
There's a lot of cameos in this trailer.
Yeah, it's Super Smash Brothers, but not legal.
And there's your furry. There's your furry character, legendary.
Hey, look, he's about to do the Tears of the Kingdom drop.
Oh,
now here's the thing I want to point out to you at the end of this trailer, because look at the name of the developer up here. Poke Game.
No, but look at the logo too.
Pocket Game. And so so if you look on the actual so I point this out in the article. If you look at this, it's so in the trailer it's Poke Game, but then when you go to Steam, it's listed as Pocket Game. So here's the question: was Poke Game actually like a typo in the trailer, or is it just did they do that on purpose? Because also in the beginning of the trailer it does say Pocket Game.
I think every part of this is intentional. Every bit of it is intentional.
What's your end game here? Are you just trying to trigger Nintendo? Like, are you just trying to annoy them? Like, I don't understand how you think this is going to work out in your favor, unless this game is, and I'm like 90% sure this game is coming out of China.
I can't. I've just been trying to find more information on it. I'm having a hard time, but there's no way that I think there's no way that this isn't not from China.
Flagrant disregard for intellectual property. The complete 100% not being concerned about being sued. That is China to a T.
Yeah. I think this is a get rich quick scheme, and then they're gonna sell it. A lot of people will buy it, or enough for them to make a couple bucks. And then they're just going to shut it all down, I think, if they were to get sued, if they weren't in China. If this is coming from China, it's going to fall on places like Steam, and it's going to fall on the stores to uphold the copyright. And that's going to get slippery. That's going to get... So it's going to be... And I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice. What I would see happening is Nintendo's going to end up suing Steam. Or that, what's crazy is on somewhere on the trailer, it's this is going to be coming to the Switch. Are you serious? You think Nintendo's going to approve this?
Yeah, they said coming to PlayStation and Switch. I was just like, what?
I don't think so.
It's wild, man. It is just the sheer hubris of this situation.
I mean, if you're I'm going to mess with Nintendo and we've got some money to do so, more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Respect. Cool. Good game.
Yeah.
But don't be surprised when this is taken offline.
All right, man. So Pokemon is thriving so much so that pretenders are rising to try to take the throne. And now we got to get back to the chat. All right, let's see what the chat has got to say. So this is not a super chat, but it fascinated me. Jay Manud says, "My girlfriend thinks you're Asian. Is she right?" And then it was followed up by Loeb saying, "Dude is definitely Asian."
Funny enough, I am not Asian.
My Asian wife asked me if you were Asian. So why? That's why I highlighted this, because I'm like, wait, Is this a thing? Like, do people think that like he's like a real life fake Asian?
People like Asian people think that I'm Asian, and I'm not Asian.
You're not even a little bit Asian. Like that's why I said,
No, I'm not.
No, he's like the whitest dude I've ever met. Like,
Yeah,
because like you and I hung out in person. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
he's
I
not
don't
Asian.
understand why people think you're Asian.
Yeah, it's you know, the glare, the glasses, my eyes, which are like extra narrow lately because of like I don't know, I'm getting older, so it's getting worse. But like you know, it's I realized last night I was laughing on stream and I'm like, oh gosh, I look like Brock from Pokemon right now.
He is Asian.
Like,
so.
He is Asian.
He is Asian, but mark my words, Wizard. If Netflix ever did make a live action Pokemon, he'd be black.
Well,
he'd be the one. He'd be the one they change over, I think.
You're right. You're right. Oh man.
He'd be
or
the
Miss. Well,
no.
Misty.
Well, Misty is
I
a
could see Misty.
ginger, so you know.
That's what I mean. She's a ginger. You know, I could see them race swapping Mindy.
Yeah. OG
Misty.
Dutchy for €5.99 says, please stop talking about the Switch 2. A friend and myself want one because of Mario and Pokemon, but it's freaking expensive. Now I'm jealous. Yeah, it is freaking expensive.
If you want to feel differently, watch my videos on it where I say, don't buy it.
Yeah, no. Check out Wizard's channel, Dutchy, because
you know,
he is the public enemy number one at Nintendo. So Miyamoto's got a dartboard with his face on it.
Eventually. Yeah. But you know what? The Pokopia thing made me realize, like, oh, I understand Nintendo fans, like the diehard Nintendo fans, like a little bit more now. Because there are some incredible games. Like, Nintendo has incredible games. We've known this, right? But, like, after all the controversy and stuff, now, like, really playing a Nintendo game again, oh my gosh, this is a great game. But the company behind it, I can't stand what they do. So here we have developers making incredible products, but the publisher, which is Nintendo, keeps doing things that I hate. Why? You can have the best of both worlds. You can have it all. That's Nintendo, true. You can have your cake and eat it.
Like Hannah Montana.
Yes.
Got the best of both worlds. Nintendo, you can have the limo out front, hottest styles, every shoe, every color.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree. Nintendo, by the way, like Nintendo is like, I'm trying to think of how to say this without sounding super gay, but I'm just gonna have to sound gay. Nintendo is like a feeling. like Mario and like Star Fox and Pokemon, like it just gives you like a feeling inside. Like I think that's the thing. Like people are just like they're so attached to these brands. Nintendo is a series of brands, and that is the thing. People are just so attached to these brands after so long.
Well, it's peaceful, you know. In a way, when you're in, if you're like you're not in this game to have like you're not playing these games to have the most vicious emotional ups and downs. I see, you know, last night it came up, somebody asked like, well, Metroid is no longer, it's not like vicious and violent. And I'm like, well, I don't think Nintendo games necessarily need to be the most vicious and violent for them to be good. And that's what works for. They're not there to like, if you want to play vicious and violent or emotionally like, or esports style game, there's a place for that. You can find that. But Nintendo games put you at peace, like, and you're there for fun.
I wouldn't buy a PS5 for a 10-year-old because I feel like they wouldn't get a whole lot of use out of it. I would buy a Switch for a 10-year-old though.
Switch One, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Switch One or a Switch One Lite.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By the way, the Switch 2 Lite's got to be coming in the next 2 years.
I don't think so now. I think with the RAM shortage, I think it's pushed everything back.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Well, good. It means the PS6 will get pushed back then, and I won't have to drop $800 or whatever that's going to cost.
Probably $1,200. That's what the new Xbox is going to be, and PlayStation's probably going to rival it.
Butter Biscuit for $5 says, were you guys talking about the Paramount Avatar Last Airbender? Weren't people complaining that it was out of theaters and put on streaming now? No, we were not talking about that one. We were talking about the Netflix one. Netflix has created a live action Avatar TV series. and
Yes.
it is terrible. It's
Yeah.
better than the Paramount Avatar movie. It's definitely better, but it's still bad. They combine multiple episodes of the TV show into like one. So they like merge together a whole bunch of different stories into one, and it sometimes gets muddled. But my biggest problem with the first season was what they did to Katara, who's one of my favorite characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, Master Paku in the Northern Water Tribe won't train her because she's a woman. So she fights him, and they have this big, huge duel. And when he sees how intensely she fights and how driven she is, he agrees to train her because she impresses him. And I thought that was a great story. And then Master Paku also trains Aang. He trains the two of them together. In this, she has the duel with Master Paku, but he never agrees to train her. She trains herself.
Oh,
And then, so Zuko has this line in the original cartoon where he's like, "You found yourself a master, didn't you?" And he says it again in this, and she responds, "Yeah, and you're looking at her." And I was just like, oh. Also, Aang doesn't learn
Cringe.
waterbending in the first season. He doesn't waterbend at all. And I know why. Because again, they didn't want Master Paku to teach him. They want Katara to teach him. So I'm sure season 2 will open with him already knowing waterbending because Katara has taught him to waterbend.
and they trained off screen.
But
that's annoying.
it was maddening. It was absolutely maddening. There were some things they did that were like really good. I mean, like they placed an overt emphasis on Avatar Kyoshi instead of Avatar Roku. Like, remember the scene in the cartoon where Avatar Roku takes over Aang's body and then like lays
Yes.
waste in the fire sages? In
Yep.
this, it happens during the Kyoshi Island episode, and it's Avatar Kyoshi taking over his body instead of Avatar Roku.
Well, I think that there's twofold there. Firstly, you wanted more maybe girl power is the phrase I would use, but also Kyoshi's become like this super fan favorite for her violence,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody
And
really likes that. So
and I've read the Kyoshi books; they're actually pretty good.
yeah, I watched the I actually didn't watch the original until it got put on Netflix.
Yeah,
And then I watched the whole thing through, and I'm not interested. I'm done. Like, I love that show. It was great. I'm done with that franchise. I don't need any more. Like,
yeah. Legend of Korra has its really cool. Legend of Korra has like a 2-episode arc that I think is the best 2 episodes in the entirety of the Avatar series. But other than that, Korra is pretty much just nonsense. And that
Everything I've heard
2-episode
is
arc
bad.
has nothing to do with Korra. It is when they go back and they tell the story of the first Avatar. Which I'm like, give me a mini series on Avatar 1.
Yeah.
The first Avatar. Stephen Yeun plays him, and yeah, it's a phenomenal story. Like it's really really cool. And so Douglas Nutt for $2 says, "Drop kick the bear." Yes.
Okay. Will do.
Yeah, but I agree with the chat. Korra is trash. And they're saying I'm scared of how they're gonna do Kyoshi. So Toph, they're gonna ruin Toph because they aged her up. First of all, Toph is supposed to be like a 10-year-old, and she's gonna be more like a, just like a stoic master and less of like a, like I was like, you finally had an opportunity to do a girl who acts like a boy. Like because they love to make women masculine. Toph's like the most masculine girl character of the modern age. Like, she spits, she's a tomboy. Like,
Yeah.
and in this, it looks like they have her just being like, just being like this stoic teacher. So I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm. If I could skip watching the live action, I will. I'm not interested. I'm interested to see if the ratings, how the ratings are with it.
We'll see. I mean, proof that there is a God above. Starfleet Academy has yet to rank at all in the Nielsen ratings, so at least we know people aren't watching the trash.
Funny enough, I often put the point of, all right, well, Starfleet Academy's out. The Ellisons haven't taken it down. They should have. It would have cost them pennies for what they actually have because they have unlimited money. It would have saved the Star Trek brand. Same thing with the cartoon Avatar movies that's coming out that we know is going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah.
You guys could stop that. and you're still going to let it run. They're dumping it on the streaming so that people watch it and forget it when it finally does. They're also like kicking the can down the road. Like, this has been done for a long time.
They're also going to do a new Avatar cartoon series with a new Avatar who's once again a stunning and brave female. Like,
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, no,
I didn't even know that.
Brian and Mike, the creators of Avatar, they are ridiculously woke. They are like supremely woke. They got Legend of Korra taken off of Nickelodeon TV and made an online exclusive because of how woke they were.
I'm good with those 3 seasons. Wonderful show. They crushed it. Avatar was a great experience. Everybody should watch it. I'm done.
When they made Korra a canon lesbian after having her like pine for this guy for like the first 3 seasons, I was just like, I can't believe they're doing this. Like,
aren't they kids?
Of course they're kids.
Yeah.
But that's what they do. All right, we have another story to get to, and this is a whopper, guys. So, oof. Jeff Kaplan, the director of Overwatch, says that he quit after Blizzard threatened to blame 1,000 layoffs on him. Wizard, did you see this morning? Because Madon.
We need to go through this and talk through it, because this is I'm behind on all of the details. But this is a big story from everything I've seen.
Yeah, so former Overwatch game director Jeff Kaplan is revealing new details about why he abruptly left Blizzard in 2021. And his explanation paints a troubling picture of the pressure placed on development teams, the development team behind one of the company's most successful franchises. During a recent interview on the Lex Fridman podcast, Kaplan described a meeting with Blizzard leadership that he says ultimately pushed him to walk away from the company. According to Kaplan, he was told the future of hundreds of employees could hinge on whether Overwatch met aggressive financial targets, and that it would be his fault if they were fired. So let's have a look. I think I have this time, this down to the time.
Teams.
Yep.
They went on this road show where they had a deck basically, and like you can put anything in a deck and sell anything. And they were,
by the way, there's going to be some language in here just to warn you guys.
Pretty much selling the Brooklyn Bridge that Overwatch League was going to be more popular than the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's talking about Overwatch League here. They thought that it was going to, they legitimately thought Overwatch League was going to eclipse actual sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we got a bunch of billionaire investors in these teams. And when 2018 started, like, for example, the day I got back, they said we signed this huge deal with Twitch for streaming of Overwatch League, like a media rights deal. And that means that here's all these commitments we made for Overwatch League of like in-game stuff that had to exist. Like a lot of it was integration with Twitch and camera control and that kind of stuff. The other part of it was a bunch of skins and, uniforms for all the teams, which was not just getting the art in the game, but there was huge technical challenges to like how all that worked and was efficient and hit the right, memory footprint and all of that kind of stuff. And so all of your plans at that point kind of go out the window. Like you're not going to work on new world events. You're not really even focused on Overwatch 2. You're just kind of treading water. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of talk of like, oh God, the deal didn't go well and we've got to do make goods to make the deal better for them. I'm like, just give them some money back, like if the deal isn't.
They would never in a million years give them any of that money back.
What people wanted, like putting it on us, the Overwatch team, to like support this beast.
Yeah.
And it was a great idea that the wrong instincts and sort of, I don't know how to phrase this in a way that's not damning, but there was too much focus on let's make lots of money really fast. And a lot of people got dragged into it. And while Overwatch League was great for Overwatch in terms of the players that it brought in, like, and the Overwatch League players, They were awesome. I love them. The Overwatch League staff at Blizzard, some of the nicest, most motivated, great creative people. Like all of these organizations got built and they were all great, but it was a house of cards waiting to fall.
And it became more about the money versus the quality of the experience of the different teams playing together and actually building this ecosystem of esports.
The financial reality kicked in where these teams now, we didn't just have, executives at Activision and Blizzard who cared about the bottom line of Overwatch. We had all these people who basically invested in the game, and then they started to express their opinions. Originally, the business model was going to be that they were going to do in-person events.
I think I may have timed this wrong, but let me get to so he says, what ultimately broke me and my Blizzard career was I called into the CFO's office and he sits me down and he gives me a date, which at the time was 2020 and was going to slip to 2021. But at the time it was 2020 and said, Overwatch has to make blank amount of money in 2020. And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue of blank. The totals were redacted in the interview to respect confidentiality agreements the Kaplan signed with Blizzard. The conversation then quickly escalated into something more personal. He says to me, if it doesn't do blank, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
Oh my gosh, man.
That's insane. That's like super villain. That's Lex Luthor levels of stuff there.
We're playing this clip, and the only thing that I could think of is because I hate Overwatch now. I played it. I bought it for day one. I was a 2016 Overwatch player. I wasn't that great, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And as time has gone on, what it's turned into, and then most recently when I was doing research on gambling and the fast tracking of loot boxes.
On that. Great video.
Well, thank you. The fast tracking of loot boxes into gambling addiction in adults. And Overwatch is a major proponent of that. It's a major problem in that. I have no love for Overwatch to begin with now. I hate this game and what it is. But then hearing this, and it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. This makes me sad because everything that I've been saying is right. These corporations are actually evil. And now we've achieved mustache twirly bad guy evil.
I mean, that thing saying that to him, that's insanity. That is pure, utter insanity.
We need to make all this money lightning fast. And if you don't make it happen, we're going to fire 1,000 people. And basically, we're going to put it on your head. We're going to say it's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can't take any of the fall for it.
I want to go back to the clip because the more he talks about this, the more like alarming it gets.
It's very concerning listening to this.
Yeah.
And there's going to be big ticket sales and then merch, and all of that. And I think really quickly everybody learned we can't do in-game events when you have a London team and a Shanghai team. And how does this work? So that fell apart super quickly. The merch was good, but it wasn't going to be making NFL level money, whatever insanity anybody.
That is insane that you think that you can create a video game that's going to be more popular than the NFL.
Hey, dream big, right? But also keep that expectation in check.
Yeah.
That's huge. What a claim. What a thought.
Seriously.
They thought that was going to be. So everybody quickly defaulted back to, hey, didn't Overwatch make $500 million just in the live game last year? What can we sell and what can you give us? That pressure comes onto the team.
This is why live service is just such a scam. Such an evil scam that the AAA world is trying to force on everybody now. And that's why it makes me so happy to see things like High Guard fail.
Today it went down. Yes, March 12th. High Guard is down.
High Guard is dead and down and gone.
And then the pressure to ship Overwatch 2 and all care and love that we had for like the live game and the live let's just make events and new heroes and new maps. We're losing all these resources. And it got to the point, you know, my exit at Blizzard, I believed in Overwatch too. I think we could have made a great game. I have a lot of hindsight of like how I would have designed that game differently with what I know now versus what ultimately we didn't ship. And there's Overwatch 2 is out now, but it's not the Overwatch 2 that we planned and announced.
Of course.
So when you're referring to Overwatch 2 in this conversation, you're referring to the PvE version.
The PvE version.
Which, by the way, I would have loved to play. I'm one of the people that were Overwatch is great.
So wait, they were doing a PvE version of Overwatch 2?
That's what it was supposed to be. There was going to be a PvE entire addition into this game. Really, I think it was to try to win people back and get people back into the game and reintegrate them in, and also bring in some new players, which is a problem this game had.
Yeah.
But it never produced. It was a very big deal to switch it from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, but then all of the promises that came with Overwatch 2, they didn't deliver on any of them. Which is why now it's back. They're either switching back or they've switched back to Overwatch 1.
Interesting.
But the PvP, but I would have loved to play the PvE version.
I think everybody would have loved to have played it. And there's a misconception online that all I cared about was PvE and I didn't care about PvP. All of the Overwatch 2 PvP maps were something that I said to the team over and over. We have a PvP audience. If we get anything right, it has to be the PvP. We would be lucky to welcome these PvE players, but that's not guaranteed. So it was.
See, that's a mentality that I think makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Never a PvE only focus.
It's just almost expanding it to also the E.
And what eventually broke me was it used to be like in 2016 and 2017, I felt very in control of the Overwatch team and the direction of the game as a game director, you know, working with Ray Gresco as the production director. It felt like we were running Overwatch and we were very, very successful and doing a good job. And I think the fans were happy. And then as we transitioned, you know, Overwatch League was the best intention. You know, my parents always say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That was the Overwatch League, and it ended up being an albatross. And then Overwatch 2 was the same thing. And what it boiled down for me, like what sort of ultimately broke me in my Blizzard career, was I got called in the CFO's office, and he sits me down and he says, he gives me a date, which at the time was 2020 and was going to slip to 2021, but at the time it was 2020. And he said, Overwatch has to make in 2020. And then every year after that, it needs a recurring revenue. And then he says to me, if it doesn't do dollars, we're going to lay off 1,000 people, and that's going to be on you.
Oh.
And that was just the biggest fuck you moment I had in my career. It felt surreal to be in that condition. And
that is cartoonishly evil.
Yes. And you know, we how many times can gamers see into the void that these companies are evil before they start to do anything about it? I can't. For me, I was a diehard Blizzard fan, and I loved, you know, like Chris Metzen, and I loved World of Warcraft, and I spent an ungodly amount of time playing World of Warcraft through, you know, many years. I haven't played that game since the story that came out about how they were assaulting all the women in the workplace. And I know that there was settlements on that and people changed their opinion, but no, there's photos. I mean, you could see that they had this Cosby room, and how it turns out these executives were like, it was a boys club and they were harassing people in the workplace. And it's like, oh, okay. And then on top of that, the people that I really respected knew about it and didn't do anything. Oh, I'm done with this company forever. I don't care if Microsoft owns them. I'm not playing Call of Duty. I'm not playing World of Warcraft. I'm not spending a dime on the games, right? Like, okay, I'm done. For good, forever now. You won't get me back. And it's hearing more things like this. It keeps getting worse. This is the second time I'm saying this here, Marv. Every time we think it can't get worse, it gets worse.
And isn't it like even more infuriating with how woke of a company Blizzard is, that they're doing all this behind the scenes where you just know that the wokeness is 100% fake?
I think what's bad is that went past my mind listening to this. That actually went past my mind. It's like, and on top of that, this company, very much talks with their ideology face first.
It's all the sincerity of a get well card from the Undertaker. It's 100% fake.
It's you can preach all you want about representation and fairness in gaming, and then at the same time you're harassing the women in your workplace. So wait, I thought you cared about taking care of women. Wait a second, you guys are actually the wolves in sheep's clothing harassing the women that work for you. What are we doing here, man? And then knowing that this is crazy, but like I was doing content creation on TikTok at the time when that story broke, and there was all of these Warcraft people, streamers, Warcraft streamers, not Asmongold, but all these people that were coming out saying we're done playing WoW, we're boycotting Blizzard, boycotting Blizzard. Okay, cowards were back on WoW within a week,
of course,
because that's what they streamed, and I was like, no, I'm done for good. No way. Screw this company.
Yeah,
this is sad.
I hear you.
This is sad, man.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane just how evil these AAA companies are. And it's funny, like, so you have Overwatch, right? And Overwatch is a phenomenon and everyone loves it. And you've got Jeff and his team running it, and they're the ones making the decisions. And then all of a sudden, whenever something gets big, you have some friggin' corporate executive that elbows the creatives out of the way, and they're like, all right, B team, stand back, let us show you how it's done. And that's when things go to crap. That's why DC, to bring it back to the world of comic books and movies, that's why DC has terrible live action movies but wonderful animated movies. Because the animated straight to DVD movies were being done by the actual creatives who know something about the comics and have a passion for it. The second you started trying to bring something into live action or bring something into theaters, the Warner Brothers executives were like, no, don't worry, we got this, comic book people, step aside. Like, this is a movie, we're going to show you how it's done.
Yeah, we know this better than you do. Go back to your silly comic books. I mean, well, you know what? But that's the same thing, though.
And they'll say stupid things like Batman, The Dark Knight made a lot of money, so Superman's got to be broody. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off on that one.
No. It's these fools in the corporate C-suites that then look down upon, comic books, children's drivel. Video games, child's plaything, ridiculous. Like they not only do they have no respect for the product itself, but they absolutely detest the customer. They absolutely they hate the customer. They think they're so much better. They're so much smarter than you. And what it really comes down to, and we're seeing it right here, the ideology push with a company like Blizzard and many others is a shield or a marketing tool. They don't actually believe anything, whether it's left or right, up and down, it doesn't matter. That whatever ideology that whatever flavor they are today is either a shield so that they can buff off attacks, or a marketing push to manipulate sales out of you. It is disgusting.
Yeah. Like they're saying it in the chat. You see right here, like Skate Habitat saying we're just wallets to them. We're just walking money.
Hey, we heard that from Wizards of the Coast. I say it all the time. I probably need to say it more often. When there was the leaks that came out of how Wizards of the Coast talks about customers, and they specifically say that the brain is the obstacle to the wallet.
Yeah.
In office. That was a massive leak. The brain is the obstacle to the wallet. And there's another company. I'll never buy Wizards of the Coast again after that.
Yeah. Yep. Evil, 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 evil people. It is absolutely insane, Wizard. We are running out of time. I think we've got another super chat in here. The first Dragon Queen for $5 saying, yo ho, gather up your finest crew. Oops, wrong show. Hugs for all. Hugs to you too, Dragon Queen. Good to see you here, my friend. Man, I'm like angry now going into the rest of the day after this conversation.
That's good. You know, take that energy and point it towards something. You two at home, like whatever you're doing, like, hey, this kind of thing like makes me excited because it's like, hey, all of these people are bad guys, right? Everything we love has been tainted, and we have all these corporations coming in extracting value. That's how they phrase it, right?
Yep.
And it's like, well, what do we do about it? Do we sit around and we be miserable, or no? We have to point that anger at something, and I think it has to be. We have to just keep being better. We just have to keep fighting every day to be better and get ahead on our own. And that's all we can do. That's literally all we can do. It's like, okay, the bad guys are at the gate. What are we going to do? Run or stand? You have two options.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Wizard, that's about all the time we've got for today. Why don't you tell the folks at home a bit about your channel and everything that you've got going on over there? Because, I mean, how many subscribers are you up to now, man? You have been on a meteoric rise. 2 appearances on Friday Night Tights within the last month. I mean, you're everywhere now.
We are at 86,000, about to hit 89,000 possibly today.
Brother, you are going to hit 100K within the next month, 2 months at most. Like that's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to celebrate your 100K.
Thank you, Disney Hoppers. This video is now on track. My discussion of Disney Hoppers is on track to be the best video I've ever had on the entire channel.
How many views is it up to?
221,000 as of right now.
Lord.
And
good Lord.
It's starting to slow, but it's still going.
That's amazing. Good for you, brother.
So we'll see. But
yeah,
now
guys,
we have tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we'll be doing Fake Cast, where we got to talk about Starfleet Academy, which I'm looking forward to watching now. And we're going to be doing a deep dive of One Piece Season 2. That'll be a lot of fun. So check that out tomorrow morning. And of course, we have videos dropping all the time. But enough about me. Marv, what are you guys doing on the M4 Empire tonight?
Well, first of all, let me say, Wolf of McGuffle says, Blizzard, if you don't hit 100K, Blizzard will lay off 1,000 people and it'll be your fault. But
well, then I better get to work.
Yeah. So over on the M4 Empire tonight, I'm actually not going to be there for the M4 cast tonight. Trish is running the show, which, is always a fascinating thing when that happens. So guys, make sure you tune in and support Trish tonight. She's going to be discussing all the things she wants to discuss. So probably be some music talk tonight, I'm assuming. I know there's a whole thing about John Lennon that recently came out. I'm sure she's going to want to talk about that. So Trish, Lauren, Kev, Nolan, Martin, they're all going to be running the show tonight. I may call in from where I'm going to be. But yeah, so we've got that. And then we've got, new videos coming out. We've got new stuff going over on M4 Empire Gaming. So please, if you have not yet, subscribe to the M4 Empire. We are nowhere near where Wizard is. We are pushing 7,000 subscribers right now. We're a little I think we are about 70. I think we're 77 subscribers away from 7,000 before we started the show. So we're trying to get close to 7,000. We're going to have a big party when we hit 7,000. And then, guys, when we hit 7,500, we are going to do the D&D campaign that Wizard and I have been discussing with the M4 crew. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So,
massive announcement there. We got to get the M4. Yeah. If you're a real life fake Wizard viewer right now, go subscribe to the M4 Empire so that we can do that D&D stream that much sooner.
Yeah, thank you guys, very much appreciate it. So we've got the M4 Empire channel. We've also got M4 Empire Gaming, brand new channel. We're trying to get it to 500 subscribers. It's about 235 right now. So that's where we do game streams, and we do that a couple times a week. So please just say Yeah, please head over to both of those, give them a like, give them a subscribe, and we would very much appreciate it. But Wizard, we have another super chat from your camp over here.
Oh, okay. From Alex Hayes with a 10 banger. Hey guys, question real quick. Why is woke bad in entertainment? Am trying to start nothing, just want a better understanding. Thanks. I think that's a really good question.
It's a phenomenal question. Yeah, actually. I mean, I wish we had even more time to answer it, but
Yes,
like we're gonna have to give an abridged version of this.
Very abridged version. When it's ideology first, whether it's woke or not, but like both are bad from a position of when you're lecturing to your audience that your ideas are better than theirs and they are wrong and need to be corrected. I actually did a couple of videos on this that kind of summarize it better. I don't even like to use that word. I don't like to use that word at all. It's any ideology that you are projecting down upon your viewers who are paying you to entertain them, right? If anybody telling you you're wrong, I'm right, and you need to become what I say, that's the root of the problem, right? It's not woke in particular or specifically, or that political affiliation or this political. It is you're wrong, I'm right, and you're stupid, and that's the problem. Great question.
It's also, I think, in terms of like you're sacrificing storytelling and entertainment, which is the purpose of this content, in order to push a specific agenda, and that's where, you know, like if our entertainment is not meant to entertain us, if it is meant to lecture us or indoctrinate us, then it is not serving its actual purpose, and we are not getting what we're paying for it. And that's whether we're paying for it with the price of a movie ticket, the price of a streaming service, or just the price of our time.
Right.
You know, you want to be entertained, you want to be able to unplug from the world, and woke entertainment means that, you know, you're not given the opportunity to do that. So I hope that, you know, and you know what? Look, Gobsell says everything that's bad about 90s Christian movies applies to woke movies. Absolutely.
That is literally it.
You're right.
Great summary there.
Phenomenal summary. Absolutely. You know,
Yes.
the satanic panic and stuff like that. That was, you know, which was started by the way, Hillary Clinton and Tipper Gore. But but we got another one from your side over here, Wizard.
Dexter 649 for a 5. I subscribed 2 days ago. You're cool. Star Wars is cooler on Laserdisc than Disney Plus. Laserdisc is an obsolete video format, but it has character. Yes, it does have character. And Star Wars is way better on any other format because it doesn't have the final round of George Lucas edits where Darth Vader goes, no, at the end of Return of the Jedi, and it completely ruins the scene.
And by the way, speaking of things that have character, I love that Perfect Dark cover art for your avatar there, man. Like I was saying, guys, the M4 Empire at the M4 Empire and at M4 Empire Gaming, my two channels. Please check those out. Wizard, next week we'll be back with another Culture Crossfire at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You want to close us out?
Until next time, everybody, create, innovate, inspire, and for the love of God, cancel Disney Plus. Take care.